Hello, it's Hurston with Storytailor, and in this video, we are going to explore creating a motor skills story using the motor skills story type. Let's go ahead and get started. So, like in most of our story types, the motor skills story leads off with entering in the story idea. This story type is specifically geared towards occupational therapists. So, here's our story idea. Terry, a fearless 5-year-old, crash lands on Lollipop Land, where there are rainbow dinosaurs, and must team up with a lion to defeat Mr. Broccoli's army ninja gummy bears to rescue the glittering unicorn. Very whimsical story idea. Now we're going to actually figure out which skill to develop. So we have fine motor skills, gross motor skills, social skills, emotional skills, cognitive skills. Let's go with social skills. Next, we're going to add in the hero details. So Terry is 5, gender, male, race or ethnic group. We're going to go with Pacific Islander. Now, in all of our story types, you have the ability to include an inclusivity trait. In this particular case, I'm not going to select one, so I'm going to leave it set to none, but you have a myriad of different options to fine tune and make this story unique to the young person you're crafting your story with. Next, we have personality traits. Let's go ahead and say curious since we're working on social skills. And now we'll add in the description of Terry. All right, so Terry is a chubby cheeked boy with a short faded haircut, wearing futuristic metallic goggles, a high collar silver space jacket, green hoodie underneath, silver utility pants, and green futuristic metallic lightning powered space boots. Just like in our other story, adding in this hero's appearance allows you to further customize the story to the little person that you're building or the young person that you're building the story with. Next, we have story theme. We'll go ahead and leave it on adventure and exploration, but we do have a myriad of other options to choose from to shape the overall theme of the story. Actually, you know what? I'm changing my mind. We're going to go with growth and self-improvement. That makes the most sense for this story. For the tone, we have a bunch of different options as well. I like the idea of going with inspiring. You can also change your word count. We'll leave it set to 200 to 500 words, but you can also increase it as high as 750 to 1,000 words or decrease it to 100 to 200 words, depending on the needs of the little person that you're building the story with. In the vocabulary section, you have the ability to put in words that might make a little more sense contextually to whatever it is that you're trying to address and assess by building the story. Just make sure that you comma separate it, and you can use short phrases as well if that helps in your story type. Here, we're just going to leave it blank. Lastly, we're going to choose the time period in which this takes place. My favorite is future, so that's what we're going to select. And now we're going to bring the story to life. All right, and here is our story. And this is some really cool story art that it generated. So I like the outcomes for this particular story visually. Terry and the Lollipop Land Adventure. And so in this particular story, because we're covering motor skills, it's actually incorporated that into the whimsy of the story. It speaks about the bravery because that's what we selected as one of the types of tones and themes for the story. You also notice we have the unicorn. We have Terry with his silver space jacket and green hoodie underneath. So it really captured those elements. You also have really great interactive activities at the bottom, as you do with every story type. This could be extremely helpful for motor skills because it gives you something to do to help make sure that whatever it is that you're working on is reinforced positively through activities. So this particular story type, the motor skill story type, is very powerful when you're working with a young person who's navigating a potentially challenging time, but giving them the whimsy and the fun so that it allows them to see themselves as the hero in the story, but also allows them to get the messaging and understand how they can better themselves. And so that is the motor skill story type. There are other story types on the way, so be sure to continue to go and build more stories of varying types and check out the other videos to know how to build more stories in different story types so you can enhance your storyteller experience.